Alright, what is up guys? Jared Campese. Welcome back to the channel. We're back in Dado's garage with the R1M, and look at this. Dado surprised us, put this beast back together, and it's the first time I've seen it together since we started this build with all of the parts we put on it. Dude, it looks incredible. And today we're gonna be adding some more parts. So our Carbon R1M is finally back together. We're aiming to finish this build next month, which would be August, and then we'll be choosing a winner for this bad boy. So if you haven't already, head on over to Patreon, get signed up, get entered to win this beast, and let's get this video started. All right, Big Titty Teens is here. She's gonna help us with the unboxing. Dado had to run up to the house real quick to get some stuff done. So you're left with just the two of us. Just the two of us. So all of these parts are courtesy of Manny at Moto Million. Continue to use my discount code Campese. It'll save you money and it directly supports us, which we greatly appreciate. So what we're gonna be doing today. Oh, actually, there were some things done that you guys didn't see. On Patreon, we did a Patreon only video where we bled the entire braking system since we replaced all of the lines and the calipers for both front and rear. And man, that was a bitch. It's still not completely done. I think we need to ride the bike to get, Dado was saying, we'll talk about that later. But, and then obviously Dado put the whole bike back together and surprised us since we were in Italy, and it looks incredible. This is the first time I saw it all back together. So yeah, we're getting very close to being done with this build. And yeah, we've only got like a handful of parts left. So I know. So yeah, those are rear spools. Actually, we're probably gonna put those on first so we can throw the rear stand back up. So these are from, are they TWM? Yes. Yeah. They're blue anodized to match, little blue accent pieces. And then yeah, they'll be the rear spools. Look at that. They're beautiful. They're amazing. And then this is a really important piece right here. So when you swap front calipers, you can't just use any brake master for those. You want to use a brake master that matches those calipers or that would work for those calipers. So this right here is a 19 RCS Corsa Corta, one of the best street versions that you can buy. And these are going to be replacing the stock, or that's going to be replacing the stock one. And while we're doing that, we're also going to replace the shitty plastic reservoir with this beautiful blue Rizoma anodized reservoir, just like those. So pretty much matches. Perfect match right there. Look at that. So that's what we wanted to do for this build, was highlight the beautiful paint scheme that it already came with carbon fiber and other blue accent pieces. That is just the what's that called? Bracket. That's the bracket that we're going to need to use to hold it. And then he also sent out a stall bus bleeder valve, which makes it easier to bleed, and a low drag lever for the end of this. We're going to replace this guy. Yeah, even that has blue accents. How sick is that? Oh, and we have a see-through line for the reservoir. See the fluid. Yeah, and I realized you weren't on any of that, teens. No. I did a piss poor job. Redo the whole thing. Cut. Anyway, no, that's it. That's what we're gonna be doing today. The bike's back together. In the next video, if all goes well, we'll be riding the bike and testing out all the parts that we put on there, because it's been a lot. So, yeah. If it doesn't rain. If it doesn't rain. Yeah, it's been raining since we got back. All right, thank you, teens. All right, so to celebrate, since me and this guy haven't seen each other for about 2 weeks, we're gonna smoke some whiskey with some Dado Made smoked whiskey sets. Again, dadomade.shop.com. No? What is it? DadoMadeShop.com. Oh, DadoMadeShop.com. Thank you. It's always linked in the description anyway. That's the easiest way to get there. He's got all kinds of cool things on there. He's always updating things, having new custom stuff available. All right, so Dado smoked his glass and then smoked the whiskey too on top of that.
Ready?
Yeah. Look at that. Epic. All right, well, our favorite whiskey with our favorite smokers. Cheers, fam.
Cheers, guys.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's good. I missed that taste.
Okay, we're just gonna drink. We're not gonna do any actual work.
Sorry, guys.
Gonna start off with the rear spools, and I guess you can put them in 2 different places. And what's the reasoning behind that, Dado?
I do believe that, don't quote me on this because I'm not 1000% sure, but if they're on the rear, it allows, like the positioning allows you to get one to the nut and adjustments, and then if you put on the rear one, it also, not only does it move the stand further back, but I believe it lifts it higher because you see how the...
Oh, that's true.
So that's my assumption, or you can just put both spools on this side and act like an idiot.
They look incredible with the wheels.
When you were a kid, did you ever have like a BMX and you have the little pegs for like...
Yeah, for standing on them?
We're gonna put some back.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So yeah, we're gonna install these.
Dude, I love the color with the wheels. Oh, the little accents. I wonder, I'm gonna have to ask Manny if we can get a blue one of these, this nut right here.
Or black if you don't have a blue one.
Black would work too. Actually, black might be better because you never really want blue on blue, you know?
Yeah, plus the black ones I think are like 3 times the size.
Really? Oh my god. All right, so we'll put, is there a specific torque spec for these, Dotto, or are you just hand tightening?
Honestly, I don't think there's a torque spec for for spools, but okay. I hand tighten a lot of things.
Do you do Loctite on these or no?
I don't.
Because you take these on and off. Or do they stay on? Okay.
No, these will end up staying on. Okay. I don't think we'll have any issues if they're mounted in this position here, because that leaves everything behind that open for us to service or whatever. But
it's freaking awesome.
Figured that we'd leave that on. And no, I don't do Loctite on them. I just make sure I go tight and then I do a quarter turn past that.
Okay, so, sweet.
They look nice.
Spools are on. Let's move on. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the brake master and the reservoir and all that. So in order to do that, it's gonna be a lot easier if we pull it off the rear stand. Oh my god, it hasn't been out of there for a while, huh?
It's like crusty. Hey, the front brake works.
Does it? That's good.
Does it? Yeah.
Well, I remember how much time we spent bleeding that freaking thing? I've never done a whole entire brake lines and all that. Dude, that bike looks insane. I can't get over it. Like the wheels and the brakes and all that carbon we put on it. Holy shit. I actually cannot wait to ride this freaking thing. It's like a rolling piece of art, dude. This has to be one of the most insane R1s, right?
I mean, yeah, I would have to say.
All right, so that's gonna give you access to this?
Yeah, I'll move it this way like this. Yeah. And that way.
Oh, that's so much better.
Everything's nice out in the open. Perfect. I'll have to disconnect that again.
Oh, god damn.
And I just blow
that. This one? Fuck. Okay, well, let's get to work. All right, so we got the bike off the lift. We got it over here on the side. He put all kinds of stuff around, cloths and things, so that we don't get the corrosive brake fluid all over the place. What are you gonna try and do here, Dotto? Since we're gonna remove the whole thing, you're gonna try to keep it together, or what?
I'm gonna try to keep my shit together. Yes, I'm still gonna pinch off the line because once I take this bolt off the disconnected, fluid might start gushing out. Okay. So I'll pinch off this line, try not to squeeze the lever, take these 2 8mm off, and then that should be able to come right off.
Okay, sweet. All right, so he's loosening these 2 right here. What are they, 8mm, you said? Mm-hmm. All right, and then this is gonna allow the entire brake master to come off.
By the way, I had multiple people message me asking me about how to torque this down properly and what I would suggest. One guy broke this twice, cracked it, and you know, asking for my opinion. There is different information out there, but when you're putting these on, they're typically marked top and bottom. Sometimes there's a fat side.
Oh yeah.
And you got to make sure that you have it on correctly. Like if you look here, it says up, and there's an up arrow.
So it tells you which way it goes on.
Correct. And this is how I do it. And I'm not saying this. The internet will tell you 50 different ways, or that I'm wrong. But I put this on, I snug it down very slowly, top and bottom. Like I snug the top, then I snug the bottom, then I snug the top, then I snug the bottom. And then I torque it down to whatever it calls for. And sometimes these are marked on top, these ones aren't. But I've worked on these things on motorcycles, different makes, models, years, or whatever. I always use, like, I feel
hand tightening.
I hand tighten it, and I use a very small. Don't use a breaker bar.
So
you know, like some people.
We have too much leverage.
Yeah, you just use something very small and feel by hand. Yep. You learn that over time. If you're unsure, then look up the torque specs. Especially make sure you put in what size this is. Yep. These are 8mm. Typically they're 8 for Japanese bikes.
Yeah.
And then just make sure you torque them down properly. Otherwise, if you don't do that, or if you get too excited, and one's cranked down the whole way, and then you try to do the bottom one, it's gonna snap.
That's how you fuck it up.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next thing he's doing is breaking loose the actual line and the banjo.
Yeah. Make sure that you crack this while this is tight. Yeah. Otherwise, you need sausage fingers like mine with extra strength. And the reason I pinched off this line here is because I don't want the fluid.
Somebody in the attic?
Yeah, we got a gnome in the attic. I wanted to pinch off this line because if you don't and you take this banjo out, there is a chance.
Start squirting?
Sometimes it doesn't, but I don't want to take that risk. So,
look at that.
Yeah,
So clean.
and I didn't overly tighten these because I didn't want to.
He knew he was going to take them back off.
I didn't want to smash them down, but I did it enough to bleed that in, for the first time. So
okay.
Make sure
Can we take the whole thing off now?
Yes, we can. I'm just being very careful because I don't want to spill a bunch of fluid.
Yeah.
Like if you press this, depress the lever. So these two wires here are for the brake light switch.
Yep.
Let me just put some of this stuff there.
All right. The entire stock Brakemaster and reservoir coming out.
It's a Nissan. It's the factory one.
A Nissan.
I was very surprised on an R1M.
Yeah.
You would think that they would have Brembo components or something.
Yep. I thought so too.
Even if they're not high-end Brembos, at least Brembos.
Yep.
But Nissan, come on guys. On an M.
Yep. I agree. Okay, so we were just continuing disassembly. Now we're gonna start kind of figuring out where we want things, how cords are gonna line up, what kind of fitting we're gonna use in this guy, and then Dado just noticed this has a totally different switch. So this right here is gonna have to get wired into this right here. So these are gonna have to get clipped off. But
yeah, I don't know if further down the line you have to undo the whole harness. If there's another set of butt connectors like these that this plugs into, I'm assuming that there may be. However, I've never taken the main harness from the front here apart. And if there are, they're gonna be sitting in here somewhere. So my guess is no, and I don't wanna really take all that apart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hardwire it into here with nice connectors and wrap everything up, and you'll never be able to notice. The only thing is you won't be able to put the factory one and plug it directly back in, but you can wire that one in.
Who the hell would want to put the factory one back?
I don't know, because I always think ahead. So one thing I noticed right off the bat is when we put this on and this guy goes on, the main line is that close.
Wow, that is really freaking close.
Which means the least amount of expansion and contraction and collapse of the
so that's
line.
good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
We just gotta kind of sit on the bike and once it's straightened out, figure out where we want
what
this.
Connector.
So I think we're gonna.
You think just a straight down?
I think a straight would be great. We have to figure out angles. This Rizoma bracket is phenomenal.
So nice.
Because it allows you to twist this way, and this way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it gives you nice, you know,
so you can have it sitting properly. Yeah.
Remember when we used to make brackets for all the Ducatis?
Yeah, that's right. You were hand making them?
Yeah, I was like, hey, cut them out of aluminum.
Yeah.
But this is nice because then that'll give us enough room to plan where we want things. And if we're gonna have it this way, I think I want to flip this cap the other way.
I agree. So you can see the Rizoma. Perfect.
But yeah, let's do that. Let's figure out what size goes on here.
We have the clear tubing.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent clear
tubing. Put some Tygon on there and let Tygons be Tygons. All right, we're gonna put this sweet bleeder on here.
Stall bus bleeder.
Stall bus. Don't stall your bus, guys. And then I'm gonna take this factory bleeder out and put this one in there. And while we're doing that, I'm going to put some Teflon tape on here for the threads. It makes life a lot easier. Do I need it on there? Technically, no. So this allows the fitting to fit snugly in there and stay stationary. And then you got a little 8mm bleeder above it, which is a lot easier to operate and bleed with than the factory. Because on this, the entire unit comes out of the master, and on this, once the unit is in there, only a little 8mm comes out, and there's a ball bearing in there too that helps keep things nice.
Cool.
So we're gonna take this guy off, Teflon tape on this, tighten this down, and then I gotta figure out what we're doing with the electric.
There it goes. I love blue and white together. I don't know why. I just do. Penn State colors, maybe?
Well, you know, people say, oh, you spend too much time on stuff or you're too picky. Well, you know, there's a reason why people bring me their stuff to get worked on. This is a different size. I did tighten the fitting down on here.
On the line?
And it's a straight fitting. But with the new setup, we actually need a 90-degree fitting. And in order to get this out, now that it's just limp on there, you need something to hold this in place. But you don't want to take pliers or even adjustable wrench or anything and put it on here, because these areas over here is where it seats against the crush washer.
Yeah.
So what I have is, it's actually a punch, but they do make a tool. And it fits really nice and snug in here. So when you're cranking down on that fitting, well on this one it would be opposite. It would be cranking to left and right.
Yeah.
You're able to crank on that on that nut here and break it loose. So that's what I'm gonna do. This essentially just goes in here to hold it like that. And then you just take the wrench and hold this tight and open that up. So
okay, let's do it. All right, you got that one off, and it sounded like it broke, but it didn't.
It sounds like it snaps when it breaks loose. I did get new crush washers since I have 700 of them, brand new ones. So we're gonna, before we put this on, I'm gonna go install this on the new piece. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge because here, when you have this on and you're tightening, it's just gonna spin. So you need one of these at a 90 degree. So you can hold it here. Oh my God. So I'm not gonna bend this. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it without.
Okay.
All right, so the idea here is we're gonna put the reservoir on, kind of get it close to where it is and tighten everything down. Then we're gonna put the master cylinder on. And then I'm gonna rotate this and put it at the angle that has the least amount of force on this line, right? We don't wanna tighten this here and then bend it over, right? We wanna just turn it where it goes. Then when this banjo is tight, then we can tighten this down. Makes life a lot easier.
Yes,
and then we don't want it to sit like that, right? We want it to sit as nice and tight up against it as possible. So these are the little finishing touches that people don't typically pay attention to. I was telling Jared off camera, it's like, oh, my cousin can do it for me. And then you look at the bike and it's like the line's like wrapped around or it's like twisted or whatever. Like take your time.
Your brakes don't work.
Make everything nice and neat. And it's not just about the looks. The least amount of kink that she has, the less problems you're gonna have. You don't want the line to pull, or you don't want it to push, or have weird fittings on there where like the line's like super long. So
you're just asking for problems.
Yeah, we're taking our time and doing it right. So you guys wanted a little bit more techie stuff, so here it is.
All right, we got electrician Dado signing in. Look at him. This is absurd.
A little bit of connectors. I have all kinds of stuff in here. Soldering guns.
He loves his stuff. So what are we looking for?
So what I'm going to use is simple butt connectors, and the reason is because I want it to be, actually I'm just going to use simple crimp connectors because I don't want the stuff to, you know, like later down the road if somebody wants to, you know, change it out.
Swap back to something? Okay.
Yeah, so basically these guys here, and yes, all you electricians that are out there, they're going to be like, oh, that's stupid. Well, tough shit. There's two types. There's this one here, a dolphin connector. If you guys have ever seen one of these. Yeah, where both wires go on this end, and then these ones we're gonna use where wire goes on both, you know, on either side. This is a lot better, I believe. Now we can use shrink ones too. They look like this, right? But a lot of
massive. Jesus.
Well, this is, you shrink this to the wire.
Okay, gotcha.
There's other ones too, but I like to use the smaller ones here, and we're gonna tape them up. But I like to crimp directly onto the wire instead of using butt connectors. Butt connectors, when they get hot or they move or vibrate, they tend to move inside. And
you can short?
Yeah, or you start losing connection intermittently, and I don't like using that. I've been using these for years. There's millions of different options. This is what we're going to use. I don't want to.
Sweet.
Yeah. Alright, so I cut the connectors off, pull this line off. Now, in this instance, the switch, it doesn't matter which side of the switch the wires go on.
That's what I was just about to ask. What's the significance of these colors?
Honestly, these colors for the manufacturer will tell you which line comes from the ECU or control module and which one goes back.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, with the switch, it's either a closed or an open.
Yeah.
There's no like volt, you know.
Neither open?
Neither one of them have like, it's not like a positive or a negative terminal, so it doesn't, you can switch them on there and it does the same thing. It's either the switch is open or closed, so it just breaks the circuit.
Alright, so I haven't been filming everything, but he's prepping it all to be basically put together. So attaching these right now to the wires, this is what it's going to eventually make the connection, and then he's going to tape all of this stuff up. So look at that.
And heat shrink it.
And heat shrink.
So, and these, I mean, pull on that once, like yank on it.
Damn, that's crazy.
So that's really tight connection. If you're doing the butt connectors or whatever, they tend to, I'm not very happy about those. So I left enough on there so that we can tuck this wire in a little bit and a little bit on the other side as well, just in case, because I think of the next guy.
Just in quesadilla?
Just in quesadilla with cheese.
Okay. Alright, so Dado wanted to test it real quick. He's got a loose connection made, so go ahead.
Just to make sure that everything's good to go, so here we go.
It works. There's your brakes laying on the side of the fucking fairing. All right, now he's gonna actually crimp the connection right now. Here it is. If you ever have a problem with your brakes, the new owner, this is your culprit right here.
Don't say that. I do have people messaging me all the time. You know, there's better connectors out there. I'm like, yes, I'm totally aware, and this is what I've been doing for a pile of years. And guess what? Hasn't failed me once. Knock on lots of heavy wood.
Knock on carbon.
Yeah, knock on carbon.
All right, all the connections are made. Now he's shrink wrapping.
Heat shrinking.
Major shrinkage. Heat shrinking. Sorry, you know what I meant. People always yell at me all the time for saying the wrong stuff. I'm like, dude, go talk on camera for fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And see if you ever say anything wrong.
I love the keyboard warriors.
As long as you know what I mean, that's all that matters, you know?
Like, you know, people are like, I'm a brain surgeon and you should not be putting that type of fuel in your bike. It's like, okay, bro. Like, spend, you know, majority of your life wrenching and doing electrical and mechanical stuff, and then come back to me and talk to me about it.
But I, honestly, with all that being said, I do appreciate when people correct me if I say something wrong.
Which is every day.
Which is every day, yeah, all the time. All right, so there you go. There's the finished product. Look at that. Clean as fuck. You would never even know that wasn't factory. Okay, so we're gonna start attaching this shit next and keep rock and rolling. All right, so I was just letting Dado rock and roll here, but you can see, you have everything tightened down?
Everything's tightened down. The banjo, the entire unit's tightened down. I just want to zip tie this and make it look really nice, or a little harness here.
Oh, where the wire went?
Yeah, see how nice that's why I wanted to run it the way I did.
It's phenomenal.
We'll put one zip tie there, and then I'll mount the master, tighten everything down, and figure out where the
reservoir and the
fittings go, and the little
tubing.
Yeah, where we're gonna
God, it looks so good. Look how tricked that is, dude.
Let the Tigons be Tigons.
Okay. These freaking reservoirs are such a pain in the ass, guys. So basically we're trying to find the best place to put it so it looks really good but also still has function. So what do we got, Dado?
So you were wrong, I think.
God damn.
Let me just see if this will work. I mean, we're running on super.
No, I meant turn it around this way so that it comes out in here. You know what I'm saying?
If we do that, the Tigon's gonna point forward and
come back. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's fine.
I was gonna go down here.
Well,
but either way, it's got a lot of. Doesn't have a lot of room for play. I mean, these are pretty tight on there. So
that's what she said.
Let's just say, oops.
This is a big pain in my ass. Well, pain in Dado's ass, I should say. Cause I'm just over here telling him to make it look nice.
Okay, so if we put the reservoir here, let's just.
In theory,
let's just say it's like this.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
The Tigon is gonna go straight from here right into there.
Yeah, I like that.
So, let's see if it'll
clear.
Yeah.
Plenty of room.
It's a little bit in the way here.
Of the dash, you mean?
Yeah.
No, you can see.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's
the only other. I mean, the other one was kind of like here.
Yeah.
The only other possible way is to put it all the way to the right, but we do have some clearance issues.
Yeah, it's gonna run into the fairing.
Hold on.
Right?
I don't know that. Yeah.
Nope. Oh, okay. Close. Do it like that.
But the fitting now is, if we do a straight fitting, it'll work the best.
Okay, I like that. That's my favorite spot.
It's gonna be tough.
All right, so we got the reservoir installed. He just put the tubing on. It looks phenomenal, and the last thing we need to do is add the brake fluid.
Yeah, and this is not a high pressure line here, this just feeds it. However, we are going to put 2 zip ties around there to hold it, because clamps don't really work on the Tigon, it's too thick.
Yeah.
I'm going to add this Super Dot 4.
This is what we used before.
From Bell Ray. Yeah. Hopefully I don't spill any here, let's see.
It's okay. There's 500,000 people watching.
Ooh.
It's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
Look at all them bubbles.
Oh yeah. So we'll probably do a little bit of bleeding right now, but this is it's very technical. So what we'll probably do is fill this up, try to get some brake pressure, and then in the next episode we'll do some bleeding and then hopefully take this out for a ride. Look at this. So he's basically bleeding it right now with his hands.
I'm letting.
It's called Dado sausage bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh. It just squirted a little.
Yeah, we got a little squirter, that's why I put that there. So getting the air to come up top, it's gonna try to travel to the topmost.
Highest point?
Highest point, yes. So we turn the bike upside down, no. I'm starting to actually get some pressure. So
nice.
You wanna get the air is always gonna go to the highest point, so you wanna see how it's still coming out. Once most of that's out, then we can shoot some out with the bleeder, starting with the master.
Okay.
A lot of people, they bench bleed the master cylinder first. Essentially that's supposed to get rid of most of the air before you do a full installation. I don't follow any of those procedures ever. I just make sure that it's fully bled, and then I like to test it. I actually like to test brake system when it's really hot out. Try to get the brakes to boil on purpose. And I'm serious, because
That sounds funny though.
I've had people, individuals, friends, customers, from a dealership or local motorcycle shops, they'll pick up a bike with a full brake system done, or like the components changed out, and they'll go out riding, and about like, you know, an hour into like a serious ride, they're like, my brakes are spongy, can you check them out? And it's full of air. So it's crazy. Like, I mean, it happens all the time.
It happens.
I'm not knocking on shops,
Nope.
but
it can happen to anyone.
hey.
There, you see it pushing it up through.
Yep.
There
And
it
if you
goes.
just hold it there, watch.
Wow, I see the bubbles climbing.
Yeah, see the bubbles? Yay.
All right, so we filled up the fluid. We're gonna put the, what's this thing called?
Cap.
The cap on. And that's probably what we're gonna call it for now. The next video, what we're gonna do is finish bleeding the system, make sure it's all good to go. I was feeling the brakes, they feel pretty damn phenomenal, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So it's very close, but I think we could bleed it and get just a little bit more brake feel out of there. But
This is like an awkward thing for this, so we're just gonna kind of leave it there.
but look at that, guys. That is some beautiful shit going on right there.
Show from the cockpit. Best
Cockpit?
there is.
Look at that. That is so dope. So I'm still trying to get Manny to send me a better, like, what's it called? Anodized aluminum, or no, for this triple tree. And then I want a blue stem nut as well. And then obviously we'll need to get a black lever for on this side too. And then I want carbon brake guards on each side as well, since we got the mirrors up here. So there's still a lot of stuff we want to do. But yeah, in the next episode, if all goes well, we'll bleed those brakes. We'll get this bitch out on the road and see how she feels. But I'll tell you what, man, that is a beautiful freaking bike. So hey, good work today, Dado. Thank you. It's good to be back. Shout out to Manny from Moto Million for providing all of these amazing parts. Use code CAMPEASY on motomillion.com, save yourself some money. If you guys want to be entered to win this beautiful Yamaha R1M, patreon.com/CampEasy Custom. It's always the first link in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.